Ever wish you were a superhero, born with powers beyond imagination? Well, you may not be able to fly, stick to walls, or throw cars with the greatest of ease, but you might have natural, physical, and mental gifts that could set you apart from others, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, these special traits could make you stand out as stronger, smarter, or more beautiful than others. It's our differences that make us special. So fly your freak flag and join the Hub as we shed light on these 10 ways to reveal your uniqueness. And click on the subscribe button to follow the Hub for more fascinating facts about the human body. But click with care. Don't let your super fingers break the keyboard. Hypermobility. Ever have a friend who would brag about being double-jointed? He or she would try to wow others with their feats of unexpected flexibility. They might hold their thumb upright, then bend it back to their wrist. They might pull their fingers backwards so they were perpendicular to the knuckles. They might curl their thumb backwards over the back of their palm. Either way, the whole affair would seem unnatural. But the only actually unnatural thing about this would be to say that the person with the bendy hand was double-jointed. No, there's no way a person can have more joints, at least not without a particularly rare and unexpected birth defect. Instead, this ability is due to hypermobility, in which the flexible person is able to bend their digits to their full range of motion without feeling the pain that stops most other people from doing the same thing. Humans with hypermobility might just have looser tendons and ligaments or shallower ball and socket joints, which allow arms and legs to rotate in unexpected ways. Hair whorls. The human scalp is another key indicator of uniqueness, and even though we see a variety of different styles day in and day out, the way your hair naturally falls is often an indicator of deeper features in your chemical makeup. First of all, the nature in which the hair follicles are arranged is defined by DNA passed down from parent to child. If you look at the back of your head, you see that your hair seemingly originates in a spiral in the center of the scalp called a hair whorl. You usually find a single origin point in which the hair spirals outward, and you're 80% likely to find the whorl moving in a clockwise direction. There's also usually a smaller whorl at some other point on the scalp, but it's less noticeable. While studies attempting to link whorl direction to dominant hands have been ruled inconclusive, 45% of left-handed people were found to have a counterclockwise whorl. Webbed feet. Although common in ducks and amphibians, webbed feet are often seen as a physical outlier in humans. In fact, webbed feet are often used as a punchline to characterize the 1 in 2,000 people born with this mutation as weirdos or freaks. But you'd be surprised to learn that certain celebrities have been born with this condition, like Dan Aykroyd and Ashton Kutcher. In fact, it's a surprise that athletes like Michael Phelps were born and equipped with polysyndactyly. In swimming, they'd be a great asset, but maybe if you have webbed feet, you'd be disqualified for a swim meet for having a leg up on the competition. Whether you have simple webbing in which toes or fingers are connected by skin or fused at the bone, embrace your uniqueness because it's not going to cause any health problems. While procedures are possible, they're viewed by most doctors as not being necessary, and any surgeries would require skin grafts and a certain amount of recovery time. Unbreakable bones. As you age, your bone density slowly decreases, causing the potential for injury. The elderly are prone to injury from simple falls, and the onset of osteoporosis doesn't help matters. But one family's possession of a rare genetic mutation causes hope for the treatment of such old person diseases. With the mutation occurring in the LRP5 gene, a Connecticut family carries incredibly dense bones, much denser than any other known human. Like the movie Unbreakable, in which an uninjured survivor of a train crash leads to the discovery of a local superhero, doctors were first notified of this mutation when a man survived a car accident unharmed. Following some tests, researchers were able to track the same dense bone structures in relatives and descendants of this familial line up and down the eastern United States. Outside of a growth on the upper palates in their mouths and strong jawlines, the superbones aren't noticeable to the outside viewer. Tongue acrobatics. Some tongues are born different. Maybe you can crow it into a single fold. If you can, it probably seems easy, but did you know that not everyone can do it? There's about a third of humans that aren't blessed with the tongue rolling ability, and there are some people out there who can even shape their tongues into a clover leaf. While this population is more exclusive than those able to fold their tongue into a single roll, don't despair. There is mounting scientific evidence that this feat of tongue acrobatics can be trained. With a little practice, you can have your tongue doing somersaults inside your mouth. And if you put in some more time, you can increase your spit distance by stimulating your saliva gland right below your lower set of teeth on the bottom of your mouth. With training, you can spit several feet in front of you, like the venom of the super-powered cobra, if you must. First, swallow all the spit in your mouth. Stick your tongue lightly to the top of the inside of your mouth. Inhale deeply, then jab your tongue stiffly onto the roof of your mouth and behold. Super strength. After years of weight training, disciplined cardio workouts, and healthy eating, you too could develop super strength. However, one boy in the American Midwest was born with a deficiency in the protein known as myostatin, which allowed him to have larger-than-normal muscles and develop through early childhood with an increased muscle mass. As he grows, this Michigan-raised child outpaces his peers as the strongest in his class. Before he was 6 months old, baby Liam could ascend and descend staircases, and he could do pull-ups soon after. After undergoing a study to find out the source of his abilities, doctors found him to be 85% stronger than the average 6-year-old. Myostatin deficiency is seen elsewhere in the animal kingdom, but nearly unheard of in humans. When seen in racing dogs, like whippets, the dog with a normal level of myostatin can be trained into a fierce and successful competitor. Popping eyes. Oftentimes, no expression conveys a person's true feelings like a well-placed eye roll, and you know someone's shocked when they look on with eyes wide open. But not many people can pop their eyes nearly out of their head. Only those with proptosis have this ability. Often caused by a trauma to the head or a thyroid issue, it can lead to a bulging of the eye, in which the ball appears to be pushed out from its socket. While it isn't hanging fully exposed, it causes the person to display an almost cartoonish expression. Some, however, are born with the ability and do not appear to be suffering from any related health issues. Rather, people like Kim Goodman can stick their eyes out at incomparable lengths. First noticed when she was hit on the noggin by a hockey mask during a Halloween 30 years prior, Goodman holds the record, having the ability to stick her peepers out at an incredible 12 millimeters beyond the confines of her lids. Mismatched irises. Symmetry is often seen as the key to conventional beauty. Think of a famous star like Marilyn Monroe, and notice how both sides of her face are a perfect match. Unless you're a comedian, movie stars and models tend to be picked for the profession of their physical body, down to the mouth, nose, and eyes. But certain people are born with eyes of a different color. Even though some might be inclined to hide this imperfection with matching colored contact lenses, it's a unique and entrancing feature that sets one apart from the masses. Heterochromia iridium is a genetic condition in which the colors of the irises do not match, and it's occurred in several famous stars, including Kate Bosworth, Jane Seymour, and cinema's latest Superman, Henry Cavill. Even Mila Kunis has this trait. And while this condition didn't specifically impact her eyesight, she also suffered from blindness in one eye that went untreated for years until a routine visit to a doctor caught her vision issue. Neanderthal traits. Unbelievably, certain simple physical characteristics are mutations originating before recorded history. Yes, the look of your weaker chin or the blemish on your skin may have come from a Neanderthal roaming through Europe or Asia hundreds of thousands of years ago. Although they disappeared before modern humans walked the earth, they mated with our common ancestors, and thanks to them, some of our current population have an elongated, ovular face rather than a shorter and more circular skull shape. Some people have a more pronounced brow ridge or a small knob protruding at the base of the back of their skull. Beyond the bone structure, simple skin and hair color traits like freckles, fair skin, red hair, and rosy cheeks could be traced back to Neanderthal blood. Positive health benefits, such as a decreased susceptibility to common European colds and better resistance to drops in the air temperature, are inherited. Unfortunately, not everything is positive, as those with this ancient genetic ancestry may also share an increased risk of lupus, cirrhosis, and Crohn's disease. Mental tricks. When you were a child, you were probably less self-conscious about the words coming out of your mouth or the way you look to others. Without those distractions, you could truly be yourself. And stripping away the mental blocks and reviewing the real you'll be able to explore all the possibilities you possess. And if you really can remember the especially tiny details about your past, you may possess a photographic memory. In extremely rare cases, memory can be recalled not just in photographic form, but like a film library, in which every moment of your life can be conjured when necessary. Called hyperthymesia, there are only 12 documented cases of this extremely rare condition in the world. Actress Mary Lou Henner is one of the known subjects, and she's able to remember any specific date in her life, having automatically memorized every event in that given day with specific detail. It's allowed her to find success as a performer, not just for memorizing lines, but for holding onto and accessing emotions needed in a given scene. In the end, if you have any of these genetic gifts, feel free to share them. The more open you are, the more people you'll find with the same traits and characteristics. And please note, these are just 10 ways to reveal your uniqueness. Stay tuned to The Hub to discover more secrets about the human body that may help define you and the way you see the world. Thanks for watching.